Hey, it's Chris and Brian here from Resolve Technology, and today we're going to talk about Microsoft Entra Private Access Preview. So this is still in preview, but this is something we stumbled upon and we haven't had a chance to actually test it out, but it is something that is a nice tie-in with Microsoft Azure. So if you're moving your servers and up into the cloud into Microsoft Azure, I can really see this as a nice tool, a nice VPN from your client workstations up into the cloud. Right now, honestly, most of our clients are still using legacy VPNs, site-to-site VPNs attached to firewalls or client VPNs, with client running software that talks through the hardware firewall to mostly on-premise equipment. But this is a neat little piece of client software that doesn't take a lot of configuration. It reminds us of a product that we use on some clients called Tailscale, which is not run by Microsoft. It's a paid. I think it started out as an open source project, but now it's something that we pay for. But this whole idea of using zero trust, least privilege, and adding a secure layer to contact machines in the cloud. So, Chris, maybe you could add a little flavor to it.
Yeah, so they show a preview here, this is tying in with Azure Entra conditional access now, where, they're saying that if you need a set or apply a different set of conditional access policies to a certain subset of users, this, using this could come in handy. And they show a little graph here of this Microsoft Entra private access and, the global secure access client, which I mean, you looked that up, right? That's in preview.
Yeah, that's in preview. So you can actually download that application, and that application, you say you put it on your laptop, it talks to your infrastructure in the Microsoft Azure cloud. So basically, it gives you that secure connection, much like you would see with like a Sonic Wall or FortiGate. They have their own extenders or, base client side applications that give you that VPN tunnel. Same idea here, but just a little bit easier to configure.
Yeah,
Um,
one
Go ahead,
one
Chris.
we see clients with, you mentioned a site-to-site VPN that's configured on the firewall. That's, depending on what their system is and how it all works, it could be very complex. You can see in the preview here, or this little graphic where it shows the global secure access, and it could be your endpoints and identity, like a Microsoft 365 account, and it could, it's reaching out to either Microsoft 365, some SaaS provider, a data center, or, Azure, AWS, and GCP.
Right, it's going to work the most seamless with obviously the Microsoft Azure cloud. But the nice thing that this VPN gives you, the angle that I see, which is what you don't get with, like, if you're using a Sonic Wall or FortiGate or the typical hardware VPN vendors, is a lot of times you don't have that insight about where you are, IP addresses, the different conditional access settings that you have in Microsoft 365, Microsoft Azure, where you can really drill down into a lot of logging and, in terms of, like, is this person at a known IP address? Have they been there before? So Microsoft is using this AI at their disposal to do these checks on the VPN access and make sure that that person is a known entity, which I don't think a lot of times you can't get that granular with the hardware firewall VPNs.
Right.
So is there anything else you want to add, Chris, or is that
No,
is that good enough for this one?
that's for now, that's good enough until we play around with it.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.